Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for SUI render and FET price prediction based on Elliott Wave analysis. We're gonna start with SUI on the lower time frame, where we have of course a potential wave 1 as diagonal, wave 2, wave 3, 4 and a 5. This wave 5 has finished the structure almost 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5. Inside this wave 5, if we dive a little bit deeper inside it on the 1 hour chart here, we can see that this wave 5 is unfolding as potential several 1, 2, or it can be of course an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, finished wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, 4 and a 5. Now the problem is this wave 5 looking of course unfinished somehow, and it starts to look like kind of like an expanding diagonal. Therefore, I still believe that this might be several 1, 2s here rather than just one impulse toward the upside, where you might have already 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and you're looking for the wave 3 here. You have the first wave 4 and a 5, then 4 and a 5, and we probably still looking for the final wave 4 and a 5 toward the downside, where you might have of course a 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5 still to hit our blue box and our 1-to-1 fib level here for a wave 5 taken from the zone 1 here and based on the wave 3 to give us this perfect target here for wave 5. And that means of course one more low is very likely, and that also because of the micro level here that we have. We don't see really a strong move as an impulse toward the upside. It has somehow finished as an ABC, 3 waves, and of course we see another 3 waves right now, where we saw of course a potential of invalidation again. In case you are in 1, 2, 3, 4, it's not allowed of course to interfere with the zone 1. And that means also that it can be very likely that you might get a stronger wave 4 here, meaning one more high as an A, B and a C here. It can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a wave C, very likely as a regular flat, and then start the move toward the downside again. Okay, but we cannot really yet confirm that we are bullish here, especially that you are looking at such a 3 ways potential here, 3 ways down and then 5 ways up, and then probably finishing up a total correction of 3 ways and then continue for one more low in a wave 5. So that it regarding SUI right now. I'm still of course watching what's gonna happen. At the end we are very close of course to the bottom here, and to finish this structure in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and to finish up this final wave 5 here in case we have several 1, 2s. Okay, and we might still get this wave 5 towards the downside. Now if we move to render, for render we are looking also at the 2 hours chart here to finish up a structure as well. So after the triangle here that we mentioned on the daily, we have a wave E finish there, and we start to drop down as potential 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5. Now is this wave 5 is still going to unfold here? Obviously we have a zigzag wave 1, potentially zigzag wave 2, and you are continuing here probably an impulse or another zigzag A, B and a C, and that this might be an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, still to finish a zigzag A, B, C probably here. However, the things has started to be a little bit complex in this situation, and it has started to show some, of course, strength by not taking the low. And that means, of course, even that this zigzag can be considered something like a diagonal, which it can be unfolding here. It can be an ending diagonal, or it can be a leading diagonal. In this case, you might be looking here at 3 ways down, and then 3 ways up, and then, of course, finishing up the structure before we move for something very bullish. Now in case that we are in something bullish here, it can be of course that you have finished a bear market, which I doubt it a little bit, and you start with a 1, 2 and another diagonal as a 1, 2, and you move for higher prices. A final scenario can be even 3 ways finished, and you start a 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5 here as a potential diagonal, but very low possibility because you didn't do the high. So much more likely that we might be here in a diagonal toward the upside or a diagonal toward the downside. Now, based on the micro level here, we still see some strengths, but of course, don't forget that this is still kind of like a potential 1, 2 here, no invalidation yet given, or it can be an A, B, and a C, also no invalidation given in a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So one more low probably for a wave 3, well, can be, and then finishing a 4 and a 5 later on, probably to hit between the 1 to 1 and the 0.618, of course, taken here from the A or W, X, and a Y. We'll see, guys, that it regarding a render. Let's move to FET as well. Here for FET, we are looking also at the lower time frame. So as you know, also FET is almost like render. It has a triangle and potentially finished in a wave E, which is of course was very good signal that we dropped down for render and FET. And we see, of course, from this wave E here, we start to see a 1, 2, 3 potentially, and then wave 4 and wave 5 finished honestly here in a very nice kind of like an impulse. But the problem is that with this wave 5 is a little bit hard to call, of course, kind of like a nice wave 5. Unless that we have a 1, 2 here, wave 3, 4, and a 5, and you got a correction. And of course, that you might have finished here a correction itself by running flat, and then of course moving a wave 5 to over there. And a running flat can be considered here very nicely because you have 5 waves up. Okay, so in case A, B, C, you have 5 waves up, failing to take the high. So very likely it can be, yes, that you might have finished a running flat, and that means of course 1, 2, 3 here, and then 4 as running flat, and wave 5 as a perfect impulse unfolding there, hitting the 1-to-1 fib level as expected before for FET, taken from the 1 here based on the wave 3 there. So we hit perfectly the the 0.201, and we move, of course, very massively toward the upside. Now this bounce, of course, is still holding even. It can still be even a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 because invalidation is not taken. But because of the time here, of course, it is also a little bit a question mark in alternation with the wave 2. And that means, of course, if we are still in a wave 4, we would like to see wave 5. But I think here it is much more preferable to consider it as an ABC zigzag, where you might be unfolding a diagonal toward the upside. Of course, a diagonal toward the downside as well can still have a place here for the FET, where you might still range a little bit longer time. You might have here potential 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is, of course, where you would like to see an impulse, right, toward the downside for FET, and another impulse for wave 5 due to the impulse as well here. But currently, because of the micro level again, which is showing some strength here without taking, of course, the low, that means, of course, also you have to take into consideration whether if you are in an ending diagonal here as an ABC here, and then probably one more drop to reach the perfect time, of course, for W, X, and Y on the daily, and then moving very high toward the upside. Another possibility as well can be that you have finished a bear market already with this drop, and you are moving here in 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, leading diagonal 1, 2, and then moving even for higher prices again. But I doubt it because, of course, we need, of course, to finish here something as a W, X, and a Y, where you need the minimum requirement time here, 0.618. So the possibility goes a little bit higher here also for diagonal, unless you are in an ABC diagonal upward. You finish three-way structure and you drop down one last move, and then we move very bullish again for FET. Yep, so these are the updates for SUI, Render, and FET. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.